What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to this special edition of the Anfield Agenda News Roundup. We're going to run through all the latest surrounding Liverpool Football Club with an eye on the transfer window, particularly Darwin Nunez and the summer. We're going to give you a bit of an inside scoop on that one. That and lots more coming up, including the retirement of Ragnar Klavan from football. I feel like we should all, pour a little drink out here just for Ragnar, just because of those Cruyff turns. That and lots more over the next few minutes, my friends. But of course, we want to know your thoughts. Do let us know in the comment section. Drop a like on the video if you enjoy it. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Now, we won't be live tonight. We are taking a bit of a breather, but we will be back tomorrow with the late night agenda. Until then, I'm going to cover the very latest around the football club. And of course, as I mentioned, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. So let's start off with a little bit around Darwin Nunez, but not the big part about Darwin Nunez. I'm going to hang off a minute on that one. James Pearce has said, with Diogo Jota sidelined, there was a huge opportunity for Darwin Nunez, but he hasn't taken it. 1 goal in his last 10 games and only 3 in all competitions so far this season is 1 every 346 minutes. There's a big decision looming on the horizon for Liverpool next summer. Now, I'm going to go a little bit further than that. It is our understanding that he will be sold next summer. I don't know of a replacement. I don't know of a destination. I don't know of anything other than it feels like to us, from our understanding, people that we've spoken to, there is a belief that it is done so. There is no real way back for him and that he will leave Liverpool in the summer transfer window. Look, you can make your own mind up on that one, whether you think it's a good thing or a bad thing. I was somebody like many others who wanted Darwin to do well, really, really wanted him to do well. But it just didn't work out. And as much as we get these little moments where he drags us back in, it has been just too sparse and not enough to be Liverpool's number 9. So, as I said, I don't know who's going to come in to replace him, but I do know that it looks like the decision's been made that he can't turn life round at Liverpool and that it will be a summer departure, unless something dramatic maybe happen in January, which I wouldn't be expecting, particularly with regards to an incoming. It looks like we'll have enough to get us through between Diogo Jota being back and Federico Chiesa being another option for Arna. But as many journalists have kind of started to intimate over the last few days, it looks as though his race at Liverpool is run. A little bit on Ragnar Klavan's retirement. It has been announced today that he is retiring. We signed him in 2016 from Augsburg. And look, he said, today I'll say goodbye to my first love, football. It's time to go. And football wishes Ragnar Klavan nothing but the best and whatever it is he looks to do after his life in football is over, at least in the playing front anyway. Now, I want to move on to another transfer link that we posted on the Anfield Agenda X account, and you may see it in other places. By the way, we're also on Blue Sky, so if you want to give us a follow on there, we've started to post a little bit. I should say I have started to post a little bit from the Anfield Agenda account on there. So if you are on Blue Sky, please do check it out. Right, so JOAO PEDRO is one of Liverpool's priorities apparently in the summer. The club intend to start negotiations as early as January, since Brighton are one of the most challenging clubs to negotiate with. Now, I don't know if this story comes from UOL. I don't know if this is true or not. I really don't. But what I would say is, I think he's a good player, but he has had some injury concerns that would worry me if Liverpool were looking to bring him in. I think he's somebody that many of you guys would probably like, so do let me know in the comment section if you'd like JOAO PEDRO at Liverpool. I think personally an Omar Marmoush or somebody else would be a better fit, but it doesn't surprise me perhaps that we are looking at the Brighton player, because we know Brighton are very good at bringing in good talent. So another thing that was announced today, and I don't really have too much to add to this, but the 2034 World Cup will be taking place in Saudi Arabia. You can make your own mind up on that. It just feels like football's lost its soul at this point, and Gianni Infantino was just again sold him and football out to the highest bidder. The 2030 Centenary World Cup will be taking place across 3 continents, believe it or not. So in the main, it's going to be in and around Spain and Europe. There's also going to be some games in Morocco, and then over in Uruguay, where of course the first World Cup was held. So 3 different continents for that one. Again, so much for the carbon footprint, right? That the rest of us are being, don't bring bottles into the stadium. We use reusable bottles, but it's okay to just fly all around the world. So more hypocrisy there from the football governing bodies. Next up, Liverpool have announced a signing today, albeit not a first team one. Liverpool have continued the growing trend of bringing in the best young talent, and today they have brought in a young left-sided centre-back from Manchester City. 16 years of age, Lucas Clark is the young man's name, holding up the number 4 shirt there outside the AXA Training Centre in his unveiling photo, and we wish him the very best. He's a left-sided centre-half, as I mentioned, so keep an eye out for him, and we wish Lucas the very best. With a name like Lucas, he's bound to be a success, right? My son, Lucas Leiva. You know, it's the right name, so surely he's going to be one to look at in years to come. So well done to Lucas, congratulations to him, and keep an eye out for him and the underage teams. So, a little bit more on Darwin Nunez, but this time it's from Troy Deeney. You know Troy Deeney. He's the man who never makes any mistakes when it comes to talking about footballers. You know, Mohamed Salah's not world class. We all obviously agree with that from Troy. So what has the gospel according to Troy had to say today? Obviously, I'm being facetious. We all know Mohamed Salah is very much world class. But speaking about Darwin, he said, "What are you doing, Darwin? Every time he goes through one-on-one, I think he's going to score. He just doesn't look like, or I don't think he's going to score, excuse me. He doesn't look like he's going to score. He's just hitting and hoping." And I don't know how he knows that for a fact, by the way, because he isn't obviously in Darwin's head. So I can see where he's coming from on this one, though. You know, with all due respect, I can. It does feel a little bit like he's lacking that bit of composure when he gets through one-on-one. There had been a record-breaking achievement also for Virgil van Dijk, which I just wanted to acknowledge today as well. So Virgil van Dijk has now taken part in 290 games for Liverpool Football Club, but has incredibly won 200 of those games. So 200 wins in 290 games for our captain, and well done Virgil van Dijk. A little bit from The Athletic now. They had an interview with Joe Gomez, and Joe Gomez was talking about that potential deal that nearly seen him leave Liverpool in the summer. This is what Joe had to say. He said about the deal with Anthony Gordon coming to Liverpool and him maybe going to Newcastle. He said, "Yes, it was definitely for real, but my focus was always on the club. I know how blessed I am to be here. It'll be 10 years next summer. I don't take that for granted. It is the best club in the world in my eyes, and after the transfer didn't happen, it was quickly just a case of adapting and getting back and right into the swing of things. It was quickly put to bed. That's football." So we can get their confirmation from Joe that yes, that was a real deal being spoken about in the summer. He would have gone to Newcastle. Anthony Gordon would have come in here, but it feels like Newcastle got a bit greedy there and wanted Jarell Quansah, and Liverpool were simply not going to entertain that. So look, I guess to kind of summarise all of this today, from speaking with David Lynch, from reading the stuff about James Pearson, from other people we've been in contact with today, we do feel confident that there is no way back for Darwin Nunez. As I mentioned at the start, I take no satisfaction in saying that whatsoever. We all wanted it to work out for Darwin. What I am interested in, and we kind of touched on it today in the video with David Lynch as well, is how much might Liverpool be able to recoup for Darwin Nunez, and where do you think his next destination could be? Will he go back to Spanish football where he was at Almeria at one point? Will he go to the Italian league? I feel like both of those leagues probably suit his attributes a little bit more. And I am intrigued to see what we can recoup here. I would expect us to make somewhat of a loss, but you never know. Maybe somebody like Atletico Madrid or elsewhere will feel like his attributes would work for them, and maybe Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes can negotiate a big fee. Let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section, my friend. And again, appreciate you guys tuning in. We will be back tomorrow with a news video, a stream at 8:45, and we'll be looking ahead then to the game, of course, against Fulham coming up on Saturday. A reminder, that is a 3 p.m. kickoff, meaning you're going to have to get creative if you want to watch it in the UK, but don't worry, I've got you covered here on Anfield Agenda. We'll have our watch along and everything else you would expect on a match day, starting from about 1:45. Until then, enjoy the Champions League footy tonight, and I'll catch up with you soon. Much love. Bye-bye.